Welcome back to Bible Study by the Pond. Genesis chapter 15. After this, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your very great reward. So why would Abram be afraid? Well, this was just after chapter 14, in which we read where Abram went after the kings of the north who had come down and attacked Sodom and Gomorrah. And he had won, through the power of God, a great battle. So yes, he would be afraid that they would all join together again to come after him. So the Lord came to him in a vision, in a dream at night, to comfort him, to let him know, you don't have to be afraid, Abram. I will protect you. I am your shield, your very great reward. God will do the same with us. If we stand up for what is right, God will take care of us. He will watch over us. Throughout the last 16 years of this ministry, God has watched over it while the wicked people, have tried to hurt it, tried to destroy it. Oh, it doesn't mean that, I'm perfect, just as Abraham made a few mistakes. I make my mistakes. But we are working towards our perfection, the character of God, as Abraham was. We glorify God. We point everybody to Jesus. It's not about me. It's not about this ministry. It's about the truth of Jesus. And as long as we are obedient, as long as we are working towards continuing our duty in obedience to Jesus, He will be our great shield and our very great reward. But Abraham said, O sovereign Lord, what can you give me, since I remain childless, and the one who will inherit my estate is Eliezer of Damascus? And Abram said, You have given me no children, so a servant in my household will be my heir. Abraham was looking around. Just as I look around, who will take over this ministry when I am no longer capable of doing this? I am hoping that God will send a young man like Timothy to Paul, or Elisha to Elijah, Joshua to Moses, to come and want to learn how to serve this ministry, how to serve inmates, to learn how to be obedient to God and take over this ministry someday. Then the word of the Lord came to him. This man will not be your heir, but a son coming from your own body will be your heir. He took him outside and said, Look up at the heavens and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. Then he said to him, So shall your offspring be. Abram believed the Lord, and he credited it to him as righteousness. It is important that we believe every word that God tells us. That's our righteousness. Believe it, obey it. He also said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land, to take possession of it. Abraham hadn't possessed it yet, and he didn't take it into his own hands to try to possess it. He didn't go around trying to conquer the nations. He knew that God would work in his own way. Abraham, all he had to do was do his duty and do what was required of him. All he had to do was do what was right and wait patiently. But Abram said, O sovereign Lord, how can I know that I will gain possession of it? So the Lord said to him, Bring me a heifer, a goat, and a ram, each 3 years old, along with a dove and a young pigeon. Abram brought all these to him, cut them in two, and arranged the halves opposite each other. The birds, however, he did not cut in half. Then birds of prey came down on the carcasses, but Abram drove them away. So Abram presented this offering, and then he sat and waited. When God tells us to do something, let us do everything in our power, and then wait for the Lord. As the sun was setting, Abraham fell into a deep sleep, and a thick and dreadful darkness came over him. Then the Lord said to him, "Know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and they will be enslaved and mistreated 400 years. But I will punish the nation they serve as slaves, and afterward they will come out with great possessions. You, however, will go to your fathers in peace and be buried at a good old age. In the 4th generation your descendants will come back here, for the sin of the Amorites has not yet reached its full measure." When the sun had set and darkness had fallen, a smoking firepot with a blazing torch appeared and passed between the pieces. On that day the Lord made a covenant with Abram and said, "To your descendants I give this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the Euphrates, the land of the Kenites, the Kenizzites, Cadmonites, Hittites, Perizzites, Rephaites, Amorites, Canaanites, Girgashites, and Jebusites." We are also looking for a country, a home that'll be ours. We don't have to fight for it. We are never to be aggressive against anyone. God will do the work of protecting us and taking care of us. Our lives are to be busy transforming these characters in obedience to Jesus Christ and His 10 Commandments. God will take care of the rest. Thank you for being with us today.